What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning The Dr. Vibe Show. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles.
Be quiet, sitting on the side.
Problem. And I'm also a certified empowerment coach. And also, I am host of Epic Conversations, and I do Epic Conversations. So we have a friend and a new friend with us tonight. If you don't know who they are, you're going to learn quick. Avalaura Beharry is an internationally celebrated intuitive consultant and life coach who takes her clients from whole to wholeness in their life, relationships, and business. She guides them through a powerful process that helps them discover who they are, who they wish to be, and how to get there. Jessica A. Walker, otherwise known as JAW.
Jessica Apcase Wellness.
I'm going to call her JW from going forward, isn't it? Okay. Jaw is an experienced online business consultant that has over a decade in assessing SMEs. If you don't know what that means, she'll tell you. I know what that means. Owners with online and digital media sector. Throughout her 25 years of practice, and has worked with well-known Wall Street and Fortune 500 company. Together, starting tomorrow night, September 27th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Left Coast Time. They're going to be hosting Boot2Boom now, and we are jacked. I am very excited to have them share on our conversation point tonight. And also like to thank everybody that's in here, like roll call, Leon, Claude, Greg Walker, the Big Dreamer, George, Mom Momos, Tony Mobley, Coach Jeannie, and Rasta Pasta. Welcome all, everybody. Welcome Boot2Boom now, and Avalaura Crowns. What is up? And
hey,
Jaw, what's up?
Boot2Boom.
Boot2Boom. Top bonus flow. I don't know. Avalaura didn't like that, so I guess we get rid of that.
Okay. All right. Well, Avalaura, can you give a little bit more of your background other than the little snippet I gave there, and then we'll ask Jaw.
Sure. And so thank you for that introduction, Dr. Vibe. I appreciate you. As you said, I am an intuitive consultant and life coach. My background is actually in psychology and social work. And so my last 9 to 5, almost 11 years ago, actually, I was a program director at an outpatient mental health clinic. And, you know, it's a really interesting story, but long story short, I was extremely miserable in my job. I was not living up to my potential. I was not doing the work that I knew that I was called to do. And I really felt like instead of helping people heal and grow and transform their life, I felt like I was just helping people to simply maintain their dysfunction. And that was not good for me. That was not what I wanted to do. It wasn't fulfilling to me least. And so I knew I had to make a change. And of events, not knowing what to do next, but knowing something needed to happen, I was actually fired from my job, which was truly a blessing in disguise. And after that happened, instead of going back and getting another job, and I easily could have, I have a master's degree in social work. There's no shortage of social work jobs. I decided that I was going to do the work that I needed to do to heal myself, to tap into who am I, why am I here? You know, what is it that I was created to do in this world? And I took 6 months. I took 6 months to do that work. And then I opened up my own business, Avalaura's Healing Center. And that was almost 11 years ago, and I haven't looked back. And so it's been a beautiful long journey in entrepreneurship where I really kind of really just, you know, jumped into the deep end and had to learn how to swim because I knew nothing about business, which is part of the reason why I started Boot2Boom. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that later.
Excellent.
Okay, so I apologize. My microphone is a little close to my mouth, so if I start to heavy breathing, please don't think I'm doing something crazy. So I started the Jaw Research Institute, which is my organization, out of a need that I had to see African American women kind of take the forefront. of the whole mental health and mental illness component. So Avalaura and I have a lot in common in that. And we met on Blab, right? So who would have known that? How long has it been, Avalaura? Like a year?
Yeah, probably about that.
A year later that we'd be doing this show together. But anyhow, I started on this journey of entrepreneurship because I was a mother of five at the time. Now I'm a mom of six. And I was dealing with postpartum depression. And I dealt with postpartum depression all through about 4 of my 5 births at that time. And really it was something of a thing of, how do you know you're depressed when you're around a bunch of people that are depressed, right? I didn't know what it was at all. I had physicians kind of tell me that I was depressed, and I was like, no, I'm not depressed. Okay. I'm Black. We have been through we have been through civil rights movement. We've been through slavery. We've been through ain't no way we get depressed. We don't do that. That's not what we do. Right. Because all through my life, everyone's kind of told me, you just clean yourself up, you get up, you keep going. You don't stop to deal with any of those L's that are bothering you. You just keep going. You put on your lipstick, you put on your heels, and you walk out the door, and you stay a strong Black woman. Right. So with that being said, I came to the realization that, this is a thing, and that I needed to do something about it, because in my community, there was no one like me that I saw that was talking about postpartum depression. So I went out on that journey. I started the Jaw Research Institute, and I started to train physicians on how to deal with and how to help and cultivate a relationship with African-American mothers. So long and short of that is, I went out there, I started a nonprofit organization, and no one wanted to pay me anything. I could not find funding. They wanted to fund everything else except for fund things for mothers. And I was like, what am I going to do? I ran into a coach who kind of took me under her wing and showed me the ropes. And here I stand before you, Jessica A. Walker, Jaw. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
6 kids. Wow. I think you need your own entrepreneurial show how to run a 6-kid family.
It really is.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a business lesson right in itself. I'm going to get back over to Avalaura. Mm-hmm. Why did you start Boot2Boom? What made you say, let's do this? Obviously you saw a need and you wanted to fill it. So what was that need you were seeing to provide that?
Like I said, when I started out in business almost 11 years ago now, it's not like it is right now. Being in business is like, everybody wants to be a business owner now. It's like the in thing now. It's the fashionable thing. Like everybody wants to say that they're an entrepreneur. And so when I started, there really wasn't that whole culture, and there wasn't a lot of support for entrepreneurs. There wasn't a lot of people talking about it. Particularly in the Black community, it's kind of like, you can have your side gig, you have your side hustle, you sell Avon, or you sell, some products on the side, but you got a day job. Like, nobody just has a business full time. And so, like I said, I literally just got thrown into the deep end. I had this dream, and I had no idea what I was doing. I just had to, literally go through the school of hard knocks and kind of figure things out for myself. And so come down to last year, 2015, when Boot2Boom started, there's a whole different shift, and there's a whole different culture. Now everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and everybody's like, oh, you can make 6 figures and you can make 7 figures and rah, rah, rah. And, being an entrepreneur is the greatest thing. And I had to sit back and say, well, wait a minute. Being an entrepreneur is a phenomenal thing. I love it. I think that if that is your goal, I absolutely would support you. But I also know the realities of it, that is not as easy as so many people are making it out to be. And so I started Boot2Boom because I wanted people to see the behind the scenes. I wanted to pull back the curtain, so to speak, and say, look, this is the reality of being an entrepreneur. This is what you can expect. And I wanted people to hear it from successful entrepreneurs who have been there, done that, got the teacher who had made it. So it's not just coming from somebody like me, but it's coming from people who are millionaires and billionaires. We've had a Black billionaire on the show, and people who have walked the walk. And so we could hear from them. Yes, I started out bootstrapping, because most of us start out bootstrapping. I started out bootstrapping, and now I'm booming, and here's how I did it.
So, and I'm going to keep on focusing a little bit with Avalaura, because she has a little bit more history. This is her vision, and I'll certainly get you into the conversation, in regards to this. When you, Avalaura, when you first put this out into the universe, what was the reaction?
When I first decided that this is what I was going to do, right? Things started to line up, pretty easily, actually, truthfully. I decided that I wanted to have a co-host. First, we started on Blab, where, a lot of Blab family on here. We started on Blab. And so I started looking at the culture of Blab, what was going on, what people were talking about, what they weren't talking about. And I knew that I wanted a co-host. And so I actually met my first co-host on Blab easily. It wasn't something that I was looking for. It was something that I knew I was going to do a show. This was an idea that I had, and it just kind of lined up that way. So what was really interesting is that one of the first people that I actually contacted that I wanted to be on the show, I was really excited. When you get a new idea and you're like, this is awesome and this is amazing, and everybody else should think it's awesome and amazing too. So I contacted this person and said, hey, I'm starting a show. This is the mission of the show. This is what we're talking about. And this person is a young millennial millionaire. So I thought they would be a great, great addition to the show. And their response was, oh, well, what's the show? What's the stats? What's the demographics? Basically, I need to know all the details for this show to make sure it's a win-win for me. And I was a little taken aback, to say the least. I don't take no very lightly. And I was actually surprised, because this was a person that I knew. This was a person that I actually met. And so this wasn't, a person that I had never met before, just asking him. We had a relationship. And so I was really surprised at that response. And I thought about it. And I said, I know this is a great idea. And I know this show is going to be a success. And I really looked at this, and I do this with every experience. And I tell my clients to do the same thing, is that any experience that you have is a lesson. So what is the lesson in that experience? And for me, I realized that the lesson was that I was playing small. I was going after people that I thought were going to say yes. And then this person that I thought was going to say yes didn't say yes. And so I said, you know what? If people are going to reject me, if they're going to turn me down, I'm going to go after people I really want. I want Oprah. I want Magic Johnson. I want, who are the biggest people that I could get? And that's what I started to do. So I started to shift my focus and really look at even more successful entrepreneurs who had been in the game a much longer time. And that's how we got, Dennis Kimbrough and George Fraser, and Paul Brunson was actually one of our first guests, and, Mario Armstrong. And people said, how are you getting these people? And I said, I'm just asking them. I'm just asking.
Bingo.
And so that's what I did. I just asked people that I really wanted on the show, and it didn't matter whether they said no to me or not, but I knew that I was going to go after the people that I really wanted.
So, let me ask you something. When you started to watch Boot2Boom, what were your impressions? What was your first impressions when you started watching the conversation?
To tell you the truth, Avalaura and I had been on a couple of shows, because the whole atmosphere of Lab is they kind of hop around to different shows and things to that effect. So I remember one time in particular, if I'm allowed to tell a story here, is that okay? Okay. I remember one time in particular, I don't know if Avalaura remembers, but I did a show about light skin versus dark skin. And Avalaura hopped in, And she was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "We're talking about the light skin versus the black skin conversation. Are you wanting to get on this?" So anyhow, long story short of that, at the end of it, she was like, "You know what? I'm starting the show. You know, you need to come by." And I was like, "Okay." So I came by the show, and I was just like, man, I was really actually taken back, because let's just keep it real. And I don't want to offend anyone here. So if I offend someone, I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. But really, all of the Caucasian shows were the only shows that were really bringing people of notoriety, just people that were notable to the platform. So now we had an African American, two African Americans, let me just say that were bringing like people that were like, man, these people are untouchable. Like, these are people I want to talk to. And you were able to actually interact with them in real time. And I was like, this is how we say it now, and Boot2Boom now, explosive. But that was back then. I was like, this is explosive, because yeah, there's a song that goes along with that. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But I was just really taken back by how explosive it was, how engaging it was, and the fact that you can actually come onto the platform and talk to entrepreneurs that had made it, like she said, billionaires and millionaires that you wouldn't ordinarily have access to. She had access to them. So I was like, this is somebody I need to be in the circle with.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Good stuff. See that, Avalaura? I told you, you guys run things. Like JW says, she didn't even think about that's the only platform of people of color. God, you never heard of the Dr. Vibe Show. Just joking.
No.
But getting to it. Just we're gonna have fun. No, we're gonna have fun. It's all good. It's all good. Avalaura, let me ask you something. After the first season, what did you learn about entrepreneurship that you may not have known?
That's a great question. I want to answer that, but before I do, I want to just kind of piggyback on what Jessica said and what you just said. And that one of the things that I realized, and this is true for business too, that made Boot2Boom successful, is that I researched, I did my homework, and I went around Blab and I supported other people's shows. And and Jessica, like her, there might have been like 3 people there. I mean, it's not like I just showed up to say, "Ooh, there's 50 people in the room. Let me get in here." No, there were probably like 3 people, and maybe I was 3. I was number 3. You know what I mean?
She was,
but it didn't matter that I genuinely just kind of wanted to see what people were doing and support them, and so that really contributed to the success of our show, because a lot of people got to know us that way. Because we really talked to people and got to know people and supported everybody. So to answer your question in business, there were a lot of things that I knew. And one thing that I'll say about Boot2Boom is not always that you're going to learn something new. But what happens is you it resonates with you in a different way. It might be something that you knew, but when a millionaire or a billionaire is telling you that this is what they did, it kind of hits home for you that this is secret sauce. Like, you need to go ahead and do this. And if you do this, it will work. And so, one of the things that I think really hit home for me, it wasn't new information, but I really received it, was the importance of relationships and nurturing those relationships. And, that's one of the beautiful things that came out of Boot2Boom, is that I was able to establish relationships and connections with these people and keep in touch. And then there were a lot of opportunities that came out of that.
I think, and it's interesting because I know you and I had conversations offline about, meeting one person or developing a relationship. For example, share with the people what George Fraser has done for you.
We had George Fraser on the show a couple times, actually. He was on the show by himself as a guest, and then we had him back on again because he was featured in a documentary, Black Friday, with Rick Mathis. And we had Rick Mathis on the show, and then we actually asked George to come back on the show, and he happily agreed. So one of the things that he did was he has a power networking conference that will be in Maryland for the next this year was the first year. So I think like the next 3 years. And he allowed Boot2Boom to come in as a sponsor, to interview the guests, and we had access to all of the speakers beforehand. So that's how we got, Gina Page of African ancestry, and Michael V. Roberts, Black billionaire, like we got all of these guests, Simon Bailey, because they were a part of the Power Networking Conference, and George Fraser gave us free reign to interview whoever we wanted. And so we were able to do that. Plus, we were able to be a sponsor at the conference and basically talk about Boot2Boom, sell products, whatever. He gave us free reign, and it was just an amazing experience. And that all came about simply asking him to be on the show.
Let me get to Jessica's experience of being an entrepreneur. Interesting question for you, or a conversation piece. What have you learned most in the last year about
really
entrepreneurship?
Wow.
That's why I'm here.
I would say the most.
I've done one or two.
Is to not be emotional. I am a very, very emotional person. And I think that sometimes that gets in my way because I'm very passionate about what I want to do. And I think that I care, it's a gift and a curse that I care too much about other people than I care more about other people than I care about myself. So I don't ever want anyone to ever feel like I'm doing something against them or behind their back or whatever. So I really truthfully, when I'm trying to more, go forward and put together deals and do different things in entrepreneurship, it's really important to me that the people that I have a relationship with know that I have their back, and that, although we're in business, I still want to see them succeed, so I'm that helper in that way. I guess hence the 6 kids, right? I'm totally like that helper, and I want to see you grow. I want to see you flourish, and I want to bring you along with me. And not everybody thinks that way, unfortunately. So sometimes I get hurt.
Okay. No problem. That's good. Avalaura, coming back to you, over the first season, do you have some special memories?
Well, you can share.
I have some, but I want to hear some coming from you.
I love to hear memories, from our, people who have watched, from our viewers, because it's so interesting how your perspective can be a little bit different than mine.
Yeah.
So I love to hear that. So please share.
Sure.
And if there's anybody here that has an experience as well, I can hop out if they want to hop in. Okay.
We got 4 seats.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, we've got one here. We got.
See, I'm always thinking about somebody else. See, that's just me.
Anyone has
that's
any
the mother
comment?
In me, the nurturer.
Absolutely. But yeah, if anyone has any experiences they've had from watching Boot2Boom, or have any questions about Boot2Boom, you can either put in the chat or you can come on screen. For one of the memories that I have is when you had George Fraser on the first time, and he wasn't playing. He was no nonsense playing. The first time he was on, I just went, this is real deal. Like, I'm going, George, he was cursing too once in a while.
One of the things that I love about Boot2Boom,
but I like,
and I just think that it just speaks to, just the energy that we put out and personalities. People get on our show and they get real. They forget about the brands,
exactly.
they just get real. I mean, I can think of so many people. Patrice Washington, who's been on Steve Harvey, who works directly with Steve Harvey. She's been on a number of different shows. Melinda Emerson, the small business lady, they get on our show and they just get real. So they curse, they're very passionate. And that's one of the things that I loved about the show, is that you really saw the authentic person. You felt like you really got to know the people that you might see every day on Twitter or Facebook, or in the news. You might have read their book and you're like, wow, like, I feel like I know them. I walked away and I was able to ask them questions and they answered, and they were just, honest and real and passionate and giving and really invested in helping me. So, yeah.
it was. I remember too seeing Dennis Kimbo in his tracksuit.
In his office, like.
Just like in his office in his tracksuit. I'm used to seeing him in his $500, $600 like suits. There he is in his truck and just hanging out. Let me ask for you, Avalaura, what does it take to get the guests comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're very open. What do you do to make them comfortable? Because they're giving content probably the same way in a lot of different conversations, but they're giving it more freely, more relaxed, more deep. Why has Boot2Boom, or how has Boot2Boom been able to create that environment where it gets such incredible
if people truly watched, the first 2 seasons that we've done, you could watch those episodes and have like a PhD in business. Really some phenomenal information that if you really watched and listened to what these people said and took one thing that they said, you would have immediate results in your business. And, I really, I just have to say that I contribute that to, our personalities and the energy that we put out. And just, just being authentic and sincere. And when I approach people, just letting them know that I value them, that I've watched them, that I love their work, I appreciate their work, and I appreciate them taking the time to even consider, being on our show. And, you watch the shows, you will hear them say like, man, I charge a lot of money for this, but I'm going to give this to you. It's just, and we don't even ask for it. We're like, wow, really? Okay. Talking about George Fraser again, when he got on the show for the Power Networking Conference, he was like, I didn't have the plan to do this, but I'm going to give you all a discount for the conference. Here's what I'm going to do for you. And it's like, whoa, and I think that they were just happy to feel valued and to know that people wanted to hear what they had to say, and that it was real. Like, it's not that we wanted anything from them, but we really valued what they were, what they were contributing to the world. We saw them, we paying attention to them, and we're here listening because we care and we want to know, what you did and how we can do it too.
I think one of the things that's nice too, that for many of your guests, it was the first time they were in that sort of format.
So we did introduce them to a new format. Yeah, they were engrossed in that. Like, what? They found it. We're talking to how many people all around the world? Oh, this is cool.
Let me transition back to Jessica here. Jessica, when Avalaura approached you to host,
Avalaura didn't approach me.
Now, what was your first?
I approached Avalaura.
What did it say? Mama's confidence.
Oh yeah, mama's confidence. To say everything that Avalaura just said, I echo, because I had a show beforehand, but it wasn't popping as much as Boot2Boom was, but it was for mothers, and it was a virtual mentor show. I still actually do it here and there just because it's, for moms. And I feel like moms need to see that image of another mother out there doing it. But yeah, I was just like, you know what? We should do a show. So the opportunity presented itself, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna take it. Like, hey, let's do it. What do we need to do next? So yeah, I approached her after seeing the show and then knowing Avalaura. Avalaura is kind of downplayed it a little bit. I think that Avalaura gives out an energy and a spirit that really, truthfully, is unique, and it's something that's a lot of people don't have anymore. I'm not sure what's going on in the world right now, but a lot of people don't have that piece, that she has. She illuminates a room, and she illuminates even live stream, and she pulls in and brings and attracts a particular type of person. And those are the people you want in your circle. And those are the people you want in your network. So like I said, after seeing the first 2 seasons, I was like, if there's an opportunity, if there's a door open, I'm jumping right through that door and I'm gonna make it happen. So that's what I did.
Wow. So back to you then, Avalaura, when Jessica
so
approached
here's
you,
what I want to say first, which Jessica left out. She actually had a podcast that she had invited me that, you know, she interviewed me on. This was, gosh, way back. I think that's actually how she initially approached me. So that's number one. So, you know, she invited me to do an interview on her podcast. And then there's something else that Jessica did that you may not remember, but I'm never going to forget this. And I'm still holding her to it. So, and I think it was one of our, I can't even remember, it was one of our conversations or something, because you know, Dr. Vibe, I've said it on the show a lot of times that I am Oprah Winfrey's spiritual advisor. And, you know, and I used to have my vision board up, and, you know, Oprah is on there in Super Soul Sunday. And I said, look, I'm going to be on Super Soul Sunday, and I am going to be the woman behind Oprah. I don't know when, how this is going to happen, but that's what's going to happen. And so we were talking. And Jessica was like, girl, you were the bomb. I'll get you to Oprah. And when she said it, I believed her. I believed her. So, you know, we kind of established, you know, a friendship, a relationship from there. And so, yeah, so when this came up, you know, it was, you know, I don't know, divine intervention or, you know, I don't believe in coincidence, but, you know, synchronicity, whatever you want to call it. But I was just like, you know, I need a co-host for the show. She was like, oh my God, I was just thinking that we should do a show together. And I wasn't sure if I was going to say anything or what, but she was like, but now after you said that, I have to say this. And so, you know, part of what I want to say is, it absolutely was her confidence and yes, asking and creating that opportunity. But the other thing too was just timing. You know, it was timing. And I think a lot of times, you know, in business, we don't realize how important timing is. It's that sometimes, you know, the things that we want is not about, we can't have it, but it's just the having it in the right time. And so it was just perfect timing.
And then, so timing wise, after, what is it, like a week or two after we were kind of going to the show and kind of going over what we were going to talk about and all that good stuff, I got a tweet, and it was someone that's directly connected to Oprah. So yeah. So anyway, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Oh, wow.
So don't be surprised if you see this person pop up on Boot2Boom.
Okay, nice.
Soon, so.
Nice. Hey, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. So far then, Jessica, did you know how much work? Well, you already did a podcast and you already did this. Has it been any surprises getting ready for Boot2Boom? You already had a podcast, you had done some online stuff already. Has it been a smooth transition for you? And also for Avalaura, has it been a smooth transition for you? Because obviously you had, you know, been in each other's platforms, etc., but now you're working together. Has it been a smooth transition? And why, if it has been, why has it been a smooth transition?
He asked you first.
Would you just allow me to be the mama right now, please?
Yes,
Goodness gracious. Okay, so fine. All right. So yeah, the transition has been different in that I didn't have a tribe before. I didn't have a community before, and I didn't really have a quote unquote support system. You know, it was just me. I was the producer, the engineer, the host, I was everything. And it was really hard. So once I got with Avalaura, and I'm going to throw in Leon as well, because Leon is like our backbone. So having Avalaura and Leon together, it's really been a catalyst for me. It really truthfully has really propelled me into a whole nother space in my business as well as in my life, because I feel like I have someone, even just me and Avalaura, I can text her and go, do you know what this client just did? No. She's like, girl, you need to get over that. You know, like, so I have someone that's in that space with me, because telling my husband just was not working. He was not getting it. He was like, okay, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, no, I need somebody else to talk to. So having that person I can go to and speak to about what I do in my business, and they understand and they get it. It's a game changer. It really truthfully is. So is it harder? Yes, because now you have other people that depend on you. But it's also so much more rewarding because we all feed off each other and we all have an energy that we click like that. And we're able to, have a disagreement, but then come back from it and laugh about it and then go, okay, now let's move forward. Let's get the money. So
get money.
Laura, what's the experience been like having
Dr. Vibe, I keep saying this. I don't know if it's happening, but I promise you that we really need to record our meetings. Because if you all saw the behind the scenes,
yeah, it is a mess.
We are freaking ridiculous. Like, we get work done. I don't know how we get work done though. You got Leon up here talking about Oompa Loompas and all kind of crazy stuff. And I mean,
Leon is rapping. I mean, the whole 9 yards.
we have a good time. We enjoy ourselves. We have a really good time. And so, we're like a family. I mean, really, we're a family, and it's been a lot of fun. It has been it's been really awesome this season, really having a team approach. And sometimes, yes, it is harder. And, Leon will crack the whip and I'm just like, dude, calm down. Like, really? It ain't that serious, but it really is that serious. So, so it's been, it's been really awesome. Just having a team, having people that that they have your back, being able to relax a little bit, being able to stay in my lane and focus on what I do best and not have to try to do everything. And because I got like 2 other businesses going on here. So yeah. So it's been really awesome. We've had a good time.
And I think that's a key point, especially for entrepreneurs, about having a good team. And you're both of you giving testimony about how important it is to have a team, because I'm sure you've been at points in your entrepreneurial journey where you didn't have a team.
Most of my journey. And that's one of the things about entrepreneurship, about being a solo entrepreneur, is that, you usually are doing it by yourself.
And you're trying to be everything to everyone, especially, as a mother and as a wife. You're just trying to, you got your husband over here crying about his stuff. You got your kids crying about their stuff. And then you're trying to put yourself in the forefront and do what it is that you have on your heart and live your purpose as well. And it can be a little daunting at times. So knowing that you have other people around you that understand, number one, and then number two, are able to propel you and kind of give you some kudos when you are, reaching your goals and all that stuff. It's really great. It's awesome.
So let's ask for the upcoming season of Boot2Boom. What is the
one of the things that we've done, and thanks to our our wonderful marketing person here, we know the value of really listening to our audience and finding out what they want. And so we try to get better at surveying our audience and saying, hey, look, fill out this quick survey. It's not long at all, but we just want to hear from you. We want to know what you want. And we have made some changes based on that. And, one of the things that, some of the feedback that we got is that people loved our guests, don't get me wrong, but they also loved seeing us. And we didn't have enough shows that were just featured around us and us sharing. And so we really built that into this season, that yes, we're absolutely going to have amazing guests, but like this first show is just going to be Jessica and I, and we're just going to be sharing. And so I think that's important for people to hear from us. We also wanted to incorporate more talking about, entrepreneurship from a very holistic point of view. So really including an entrepreneur's life and relationships, because all of those things are so important and they impact you as an entrepreneur and your success. And so we also are, really talking more about that. Like, okay, so how can you be explosive in your life, your relationships, and your business? So it's not just about your business this season, but really talking about your life and relationships as well.
Would that be saying being a well-rounded entrepreneur?
We want healthy, thriving, fulfilled, whole entrepreneurs.
Wonderful. Avalaura, what thought process or strengths does Jessica bring to the Boot2Boom team?
Oh gosh, what do I call Jessica? She has like ideas for days, right? And some of these ideas are like cuckoo crazy, but some of them is like, that might actually work.
I knew she was going to say that. I thought she was going to call me something else, but I'm not going to even leave that one alone. But yeah, okay.
And she also she brings a lot of humor as well. I mean, she's just silly. Like we have a good time, so I mean, people seem to think I'm so serious. I don't really know why I'm not, but but yeah, so she brings definitely the humor and a lot of the ideas. And so, so one of the segments that we have, I can tell you, is the sort of the poppin' topics of the week. That was her idea. Like, we need to have a hot topic of the week. What are we going to talk about? So different things like that. And she has really studied, podcasting and, shows. And so how can we bring those elements into the show?
Okay. All right. And Jessica, what has Avalaura brought to you since now you are a partnership?
She already brought it to the show. Now. I can't even no, she's done. But yeah, brought to me. I think Avalaura has brought a lot of things to me. As far as the business end of it, I don't want to get mushy because we'll all start crying in here. But she's definitely brought friendship. She's brought leadership. As well as she's one of the people I kind of look up to. She is a beast at social media. And I actually told her this, is that she should move into trying to talk to people about business, because she's been here since MySpace, like for real. Like, she's been doing the social media thing since MySpace. But she's like, I'm not in business. I'm like, well, I'm just saying, like, if you've been doing it for this long, So seeing her post all of the time on social media, I'm one of those people where I'm consistent a little bit, so I need to work on that. But yeah, she's a beast at social media and making sure that she just is positioned in the correct light for her branding and her business. So I think if there's one thing I could say that she's brought to me, it's been the fact that she's just been the example of how to really expose your business and to be a brand and really leverage relationships as well. Her interview skills are out of this world. I'm trying to catch up to her. So if y'all see me kind of, Avalaura's still giving me pointers because I laugh a lot, as you can see. So anyway, yeah.
Okay. So are you at liberty to share any upcoming guests for this season? Okay, no problem. I'm just Coach Jeannie had asked a question, so I don't know if you guys saw it or not. That's good, no problem. What she said, what upcoming interviews do you have lined up for the next iteration of Boot2Boom? Well, that's a nice. There you go.
See, yes, I told you she was a marketing bee.
Saying, hush your mouth. There you go. Nice. Oh my, Coach Jeannie, what's with all
That's
the
why
secrecy?
You watch. It won't be a secret then.
Whoa. There you go. I want to shout out Kimberly Collins and Stephanie and George. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you have any questions, you can certainly type them in the side, or there is a seat open if you want to come in. And if you want to come in, just go to the bottom of the chat and click on the camera and you can get in, because we'll probably be wrapping this up in the next few minutes. Ladies, how has the state of entrepreneurship changed overall in the last year or so? Just for Avalaura, how's it changed the state of entrepreneurship since you started Boot2Boom? How are you seeing people react? How are you seeing them move in a different speed or a different way than when you started Boot2Boom? And have you had any success stories? I know you've had some success
I'm like
stories,
success stories from what light? We've had many. So I'm like, from what vantage point? I
And any that you feel comfortable with sharing. Just could be someone saying, I started my journey or I hit my goal. And it can be big or small, whatever you feel comfortable
there
sharing
have
with the
been
audience.
quite a few. There have even been people who have connected with some of our guests and said, you know, that's exactly what I was looking for. That's what I needed. And so they connected with our guests and started working with them. You know, even Fitz actually, and you might have seen it. He actually connected and started working with Melinda Emerson, a small business lady, which has been tremendous. So he was just featured on her Twitter chats, which are thousands of people tune into those. And she has a conference coming up in the DC area next month. And so he's been helping her with marketing for that. So that, you know, that's huge, you know, just really, really making some of these connections, you know, from the guests that we've had on. And in terms of things that I've seen, you know, I think that things are pretty much the same. I will say that we've definitely seen more people live streaming now. That has been huge. And, you know, and I think that has a lot to do with obviously now Facebook Live coming out, and, you know, and just businesses getting hip to, hey, like live streaming is where it's at. You know, this is a really important component to business. So I've seen a lot more of that. So it's funny, you know, Jessica's like, you should be teaching this, but that's one of the things that, you know, in business that I get, you know, asked to talk about a lot is the importance of live streaming in business. Because people are starting to wake up and see like, hey, you know, when you have a presence online, how much it changes your business. And I can tell you, and this is true story, you know, when I'm out and about, I've literally had, I can think of maybe 3 or 4 different events that I've gone to where people have walked up to me and said, I know you. And they're like, I remember you from Periscope. And I haven't done a Periscope in probably like 5-6 months. But people still remember me from Periscope. So that just, you know, it just shows you, you know, how powerful live streaming really is. And so I've seen a lot more of that. And so I'm really excited to have Boot2Boom back and to have that platform, because it really can take your business to the next stratosphere if you know how to use it and position yourself properly.
Jessica, what any changes you've seen over the last year or two when it comes to
changes
entrepreneurship?
That I have seen have been primarily, like she said, in the live stream arena. But I've also, Avalaura kind of started to show off with that. I've seen more people moving into the entrepreneurship arena and wanting to really just have that freedom that entrepreneurship can give you, as well as having the ability to hire and build an economic base. It'll help build up our economic base by becoming an employer. So that's what I've seen. I've seen that shift in that. And I do a lot of coaching as well. And with my clients, a lot of them are still working their 9-to-5s and they want out. They're ready to move on to something bigger and better, and they're ready to live their purpose. So that's what I've seen.
Well, ladies, something I've noticed in a lot of the trends and a lot of statistics show this. Why is it, in your opinion, more women are going the entrepreneur route than men? Because you are hosting a show. So why do you feel more women are going the entrepreneur?
You know, yeah, and the statistics, and this is where Jessica comes in research, but I believe it's higher amongst Black women as well. And you know, yes, and I think a lot of that also speaks to, and I think Jessica can really talk more about this too, in being a mother. And women wanting to have options and to have more freedom, and whether it's homeschooling their children or they want to be around more for their children. Because I am not a mother, but you know, I know from just being a wife, you know, so being a wife and a mother and having a 9-to-5, you know, and not having that freedom and not having time, you know, for yourself, you know, and that's a lot of my clients, not having that time for yourself, let alone for your family. And your husband, because when you get home, you're tired. you're drained and you still got to cook dinner and you still got to make time for your husband. And you're like, where's the me time? I know, Avalaura, you're telling me to be balanced and take time out for myself. But how do I do that when I'm working this 9 to 5, which really isn't a 9 to 5 because I don't get home until, 6:30, 7 o'clock or whatever it is. So, a lot of what I've seen in my clients is absolutely, like Jessica said, wanting to live on purpose, people not being fulfilled, people being frustrated and wanting to leave a legacy and do something that really speaks to them. But a lot of it too is just having freedom and control over their own time and their own schedule.
Well, I think
Jessica,
legacy
do you want to
is
build
the
on
key
what
point here,
Avalaura
right?
has shared?
Having that legacy. So leaving something behind for your children and building that up with your business. So I think that's a big piece of it.
Nice. With Boot2Boom, it's going to be on 10 o'clock Tuesdays. So are you going to have the same schedule as you previously had? You'll be taking the summer off. Is that
according
the game
to Leon,
plan again?
we ain't taking no time off.
Amount of time, and then you take the.
We might have to discuss that.
Okay. All right.
Leon is like, we are in.
I treat Boot2Boom, yes, it's live streaming, but I treat Boot2Boom like it is it's a real TV show. And TV shows have seasons. They have time off. I think that's important. I think that's really healthy. It gives you time, to focus on other things in your business. I mean, this weekend I have 3 speaking engagements coming up. Like, I would not have necessarily had time to do all of that if I was doing Boot2Boom, around, every week. And so I've lined up a lot. So I have a lot going on, which is why it's so awesome to have a team, but I have a lot going on these next few months. So, so that time off is important. It's healthy. Talking about being a healthy whole entrepreneur. So yeah.
Yes. Well, one of the segments I'm certainly waiting for is how Jessica is a healthy entrepreneur with 6 kids, husband, and businesses. I think that is going to be joking aside, it's going to be a very powerful statement and content coming from her, which would be very relatable for not only mothers, but also guys
definitely,
who have a lot on the plate too.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm looking forward to that segment. What vision or what do you want the audience to get this year that may be different than what you wanted to get in previous years? So, and I think both of you can answer it. Avalaura, you can answer it from previous experience, and Jessica, you're coming on board right now. What do you want the audience to get this year?
So the last couple of seasons, it was really a focus on this is the reality, right, of entrepreneurship, the sacrifices you have to make, the struggles that you make, the realities behind, I've been broken, I couldn't always pay my electric bill. I lost my house to foreclosure. I had to sleep on my mama's couch for 7 years, or I was in my parents' basement, for 5 years, whatever it is. But really, letting people hear the stories so that they understand that they're not alone. And this is what it's really going to take to be successful. And absolutely, that's a part of it. But I think more so this year, I want people to focus on their vision. Like, why do you really want to be an entrepreneur? Is this really for you? Is it something that you want to do because everybody is talking about it? Or is it something that you really want to do because you're invested in it? And what is that going to look like for you? How is that going to fit into your lifestyle? What kind of business is going to be appropriate for your brand, for your lifestyle? What is your vision? What is the legacy that you want to leave? And then how are you going to do that?
Yeah, I completely agree with Avalaura 100%. And I think the another piece to that is also, living in your purpose. You kind of said that a little bit, but then, okay, let's say you start a business and now you're a big success. What are you going to do with that success? What are you going to do with all of that money, quote unquote? what are you going to do with all of that money now that you have it? How are you now going to take that and use it as, I say, a fertilizer, if you will, to help others grow and to really give back to your community as well as the world? So.
All right. Well, you know what? I think we're going to wind it down here because I know you ladies need to get some rest because you got a big conversation. You're opening one tomorrow night. And any parting thoughts you have for the audience before we let both of you go?
Dr. Vibe, I really want to thank you again for inviting us onto your amazing show and allowing us, to talk about Boot2Boom, just talking about how you use your platform. And I really appreciate you using your platform to lift up others and to support others. So I definitely want to thank you for that. And, I want people to tune in. I want people to tune in tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. I want people to tune in. I want people to fill out the survey. I want genuine feedback. I want to know, what is it that entrepreneurs need? I want to know, how can we help you? What is it that you're looking for? How can Boot2Boom add value to your life? So that's really what I want to know.
And
so you
your
can contact me. I will put my website in the chat. I am Googleicious. I am everywhere. You can find me at avalaura.com, AVALAURA, avalaura.com. And, like Jessica said, I'm on all social media. I feel like a dinosaur. Like, I've been around since MySpace. But you can find me on all social media. So you can connect with me on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, heck, on Google+. I'm freaking everything, okay? But go to avalaura.com. You'll get all that information. And feel free to contact me. I'm very approachable. Like I said, I definitely want to hear from you. And if you want coaching, if you got a big dream inside and you are ready to give birth to it and you're trying to figure out how the heck to do it, contact me. Let's talk.
And Jessica, any final thoughts you'd like to share with the audience?
Are, I'm going to actually end us with Leon's famous quote, which is, here's a little story that must be told. We're going to bomb, we're going to boom, we're going to explode. That's Leon's rap. He's going to get me for that. But yes. So back to Jessica. So my contact information, you can reach me at thejawresearchinstitute.com. And Leon says, oh Lord, jawresearchinstitute.com. And please fill out the survey. Once you do, you'd actually be entered to win some great prizes, because we're giving away prizes. We have all sorts of stuff we're giving away for you, giving away to you. So please make sure you fill out our survey, which is bit.ly/boot2boom now at FB. And yeah, just let us know what you want to see on, who you want to see on the show, what you'd like us to talk about on the show. And you'd also receive a link to join our Facebook group. So it's really great bonus for you. So go ahead, and if you need some help with starting your own show, your own podcast, or if you just want some more information about what it is that I do in the mental health field, you can reach out to me at thejawresearchinstitute.com.
Fantastic. Well, ladies, thank you so much for taking time out of your positive, productive schedule. And to be openly honest with everyone that's watching this live run replay, I thought about this idea yesterday afternoon. So when you have great collaboration and you want to lift up people, miracles can happen, because I don't think either one of them even thought that this is going to happen yesterday afternoon. So I thank you very much for making yourself available. I am looking forward to being a participant tomorrow night on Boot2Boom, like I am on most Tuesdays, because I do a show earlier and I make sure it's finished by
Dr.
the time
Vibe, looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for having me.
I am Dr. Vibe. I do the best I can with what I got, because what I got's good enough. I'm telling you. God bless you. Oh, there you go. Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the Dr. Vibe Show, award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, host of Epic Conversations. This is the place for Epic Conversations. You can touch base with me. Facebook, the Dr. Vibe Show. Twitter at drvibeshow. Email dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Catch Me Tomorrow Night, weekly men's show will be on before Boot2Boom's on. And I'm telling you, be where Boot2Boom is, because they will take you to higher places. As always, I'd like to say you're blessed and highly favored. You're a magnet for miracles and your solution for someone's problem. Be there tomorrow night, or we're going to come get you. Good night.